Hey guys, Connor Powers from DeadRedHitting.com. In this video, I'm going to show you the 5 drills, hitting drills you need to use before your game as your pregame hitting routine to get you in a really good spot before the game where you feel comfortable, you feel confident, and you walk into that game knowing that you're going to crush the ball. Now, the first thing that I recommend everybody does before the game, first drill, absolute first drill is going to be to swing at 50% effort level to get nice, loose, free, and easy to make sure that we're tension-free in our swing, okay? It's extremely important to make sure that we're tension-free. One of the bigger mistakes I always see hitters make, I see them do it all the time, they pick up the bat, they just start wailing away, okay? It's extremely important to make sure that you have a very specific routine that you go through before the game. Now, for me, it was literally just take 50, 60% effort swings where I would just be nice, free, easy, right? Just get my stance, and then I would, sometimes I would work off of a cadence with my feet where I'd pick them up, put them down. Other times, I'd just be real nice and easy, free with my hands. Some sort of trigger, some sort of tick that gets you to understand your timing and your tempo for that day. So just as an example, you're gonna get in your stance, nice, free, easy, rhythm, under control. Okay, hit nice, solid line drive right up the middle. Okay, so it's extremely important to get your day started off as a pregame hitting routine with a nice, solid line drive to the middle of the field, free and easy. Drill number 2 is part of your pregame hitting routine. Work on your load, whether it's your lower half load, okay, whether it's your hand load, do something to work on your load. For me, and again, this is really personal, so you've got to find this for yourself, or if you're a parent or your coach watching this, help the hitter find what one of their bigger keys is, or if maybe sometimes they don't remember what one of their bigger keys are with their load. So, sometimes you're going to see kids, when they load with their lower half, they really like to slide their hips around, okay? And when you see a hitter do that, then they're gonna have inconsistencies in their bat path and their barrel delivery towards the baseball. I talk about that a lot in the ABCs of the 5-tool hitter, which you can actually pick up over at the website as part of the 6 Pillars annual pass at DeadRedHitting.com. But again, you wanna make sure that you're really working hard on something in their load. So whether they're getting loaded into their backside, into a nice, extremely coiled position with their lower half so they can explode and have more power. Or sometimes you're going to see hitters where they don't do a good job of getting into this launch position where the bat is at the catcher. Sometimes their bat will be back here, sometimes their bat will be back here. They just don't get into a good loaded position. So for me, my personal part of my load that I always like to work on was just really to make sure that I would get to that nice, solid 45-degree angle, roughly. Obviously, there's some variance there. But that was the one thing that I would do when I was working on my load. So for example, when I was in the Padres system, when I was playing in the minors, this would be one of the pregame hitting drills I did, where I just literally load up, stride separate, and then I would take a look at the knob of the bat to make sure that it's pointed at the catcher. Okay, so I'd do that 3 times. I'd go 1, 2, and then the third one, I would actually take a swing. Okay, so I'll do that for you right now. 1, 2, okay, I'm feeling comfortable, loaded. Okay, I missed that a little bit underneath it there, but you see the idea that we're working on our load. We're doing something with our load, something very specific. We're working on things that are very specific in your swing. That's going to give you confidence going into the game. The third drill I would do is I would make sure I had some sort of separation between my hands and my front foot, okay? And so for me personally, when I strided and I separated in my swing, I had my hands go back at the same time my foot is going forwards. Now there's many ways to skin the cat from that standpoint, where some guys will like to actually get loaded, stick their hands back, and then kind of step away. Point being that the hands stay back. So many times I see hitters when they're trying to get some sort of separation. For example, if they load their hands first, they'll go here, and then as they stride forwards, you're gonna see how my hands move forwards. And that's one of the bigger things if you're a parent or a coach, to take a look at your son or daughter's video, whether she plays baseball or whether he plays baseball, whether she plays softball, or she may play baseball as well. Okay, but what you want to do is you want to get like a coach's eye app or any sort of app that you can slow that video down, and you want to check that out. You want to see, 1, when they stride, is that foot moving forwards? That's 1. 2, when they stride and that foot is moving forwards, are those hands going back? Are they creating some sort of separation? And when you're creating that separation, a lot of times what you're going to see is more of a back shoulder load, which we could go down a rabbit hole at that, but we're not going to do that in this video. But again, the premise is just to give the hitter the feel of exactly what they're going to be looking for when they get in the game. So it's more of a movement and less of a scientific robotic movement, if you will. So again, the third thing that I worked on was always to try to make sure that I had some sort of separation in the swing. This is a really, really big key to be able to hit consistently, to be able to hit the ball with power. So a drill that I used to like to do, one of my favorite hitters was actually David Ortiz. Just growing up, loved watching him hit, loved watching him in clutch situations. And one of the things you'll see him, he's got a bigger hand trigger in his swing. And for me, that really helped me just understand the flow that I wanted to get when I was trying to create separation. So what I would do is, I'd get my stance here, and then I would go kind of hands to the knee here. And what you're going to see here is you're going to see my hands go back as my foot goes forward, just to give me the feel of that separation. So again, the third concept, the third thing you want to make sure you work on before the game is making sure that you have some sort of separation. Okay, so I get my stance here, there. And that was one drill that really helped me just connect to the ball to get that rhythm, tempo, timing, and get that separation in my swing. Number 4, the fourth thing that I would work on before the game is I would make sure that my lower half was starting my swing. A big mistake I see hitters make, people send me videos all the time, hey, can you take a look at something? One of the bigger mistakes I see is after the hitter gets in the launch position and their foot hits the ground, what you're going to see is the first thing that happens is their hands will go forwards, and now their hands are out in front, and they're in a more of a weak pushy position. Whereas if your hands stay back and you can get yourself to rotate here to get that lower half started, okay, that's when you're going to get your hips are going to be leading the hands a little bit more. And a lot of, for me, the way it made sense to me was just the heel. When the heel planted in the ground, you needed to make sure that that lower half and those hips exploded and fired, and those hands stayed back to create more of that whip to get that bat on plane. So a really simple drill that I would do, literally load, stride, separate here, and I would just call this a heel drops drill. Okay, and again, I talk a lot about this in the ABCs of the 5-tool hitter program, which you can get over at the site. But when this heel drops, okay, so you want to make sure that that heel hits, boom, lower half fires. So you can see heel hits, lower half goes. Okay, and that would be mainly the main thing that I was working on. So I get loaded, stride, separate, right, get into this good solid launch position, drop my heel into the ground, and then fire. So I would do the first swing where I'd be more of a sustained pause here, and then boom, go, and I would take my swing. Where it really felt like it prepped me for the game was after I did that for about 2 or 3 swings where I would have a pause, I would then make it a little bit more of a rhythm where I'd be here, load, stride, separate, and boom, go, here, here. Okay, and you're gonna see that in a lot of the hitter swings that are at the big league level, that just sort of connected, fluid movement that's gonna allow them to get their lower half firing. So for example, get here, and then once that heel would drop, everything works together. And you also see how my lower half is taking me forwards. It's taking me forwards there, getting my lower half to deliver the ball up the middle. When you have that lower half working the right way, what you're going to see is you're going to see that bat stay in the zone for a lot longer period of time, which is going to help you hit the ball even more consistently when you're not on time. Okay, so all those 4 drills are extremely important to use before you hit the games. There's slight variations of those drills, and you can work to find your own, but those are the main 4 concepts that I would work on as far as getting your actual physical swing. The 5th one's even bigger, in my opinion, than the swing can be sometimes, especially in the game of baseball, where it's such a mental game, and that is to prepare yourself, have some sort of mental exercise you're using before every single game that you play in. So it's extremely important to make sure that you go through something to get your mind right, whether it's listening to music, visualization. I'm a big believer in visualization. Really, really big key. I would do that, especially even before I would walk into the batter's box. I'd do that in the on-deck circle. I would go back in my head and say, hey, when was the time that I absolutely destroyed the ball? For example, I remember being in Corpus Christi when I was playing at Mississippi State, and I hit a ball probably 475 feet. So what I would do in the on-deck circle is I would go to that moment in my head and replay it. So even if I did, get in, it was my second or third at bat of the day, and let's say I struck out once or twice before that, it would at least prime me to remember and prime me to get in a place of confidence before I would step in the box. So that's something super simple, and obviously, everybody's got their own moment of that. Whether you want to visualize the park you're at, the type of pitcher you're facing, the color jersey you're wearing, every single thing that you can possibly think of to make that a real thing that's going to help you get confidence before you get in the game. Okay, so extremely important to make sure that you go over those 5 things before your game to get yourself ready to be able to be in the best position physically with your swing, the best position mentally for your swing to go out and compete. And when I was playing at Mississippi State and I was playing in the minors, the combination of your swing and obviously getting yourself mentally prepared, ready to go every single day is a huge, huge thing. And I can't stress the importance of going over those 5 things as much as you possibly can. And you can watch this video if you're a player and go out and do this once. It'll help you a little bit, but the key is really getting yourself to consistently commit and dedicating yourself to your game. And if I look back at my career when I was playing, in the minors, playing at Mississippi State, that really was one of the things that separated me because I wasn't always the most talented guy, especially compared to a lot of the guys I was competing against. But my discipline and my work ethic was something that really allowed me to get to the point to where I was able to get drafted, to where I was able to play professionally. So your dedication, your work ethic are extremely, extremely important if you are somebody who does want to get to the highest level that you possibly can. And parents and coaches, make sure you really share that last detail with your son or daughter. Have them watch this video because I can't stress that enough. Now, if you're a parent or you're a serious coach and you want to invest in your son, your daughter, or your players and really understand the exact things that you need to teach them, highly recommend going over to the website, deadredhitting.com, go to the training tab, and then there's going to be a 6-pillar annual pass. And what that gets you access to is not only my ABCs program, but also 5 other extremely important training pillars that every hitter needs to go through if they want to reach the highest level that they possibly can. So again, head over to deadredhitting.com, go check out that 6-pillar annual pass.